Hi, I had to go to emergency for stitches a few weeks back, and I just wanted to share, after waiting 6 hours in emergency and finally getting in with the way things are after COVID in the hospitals, it was like, yahoo, it's my turn. um, so you get to go in and you get the doctor, comes in your room, and it's like he says, the stitches aren't going to hurt very much, but the needle. So it's like the dentist needle that you don't want, right? So he sticks this needle in, and I start speaking in tongues. It just came, right? And I'm not really big on speaking in tongues in front of other people. It's not something I tell people, oh, I speak in tongues, or do it publicly. But this just came. And so after he was kind of doing the stitches and stuff, he said, so what kind of language is that? And I said, that's the language of the angels. And so I kind of got talking with him, and his name was Adam, which of course leads me into talking about the Hebrew letters in the name and how it's from Adama, which is the earth, and Dam, which is the blood, and that the Aleph represents God. And so we're a composite of spirit and the earth. And it was kind of cool, and I got to sort of say to him, well, obviously you're a doctor, and you're a heavily educated person, and I would really highly recommend, based on your childhood being brought up in the church and kind of obviously not being part of that anymore, I would suggest you go to creation.com, where all these scientists talk about, believing in God and how science and the Bible fit together. And so he said he would go to that. So it felt really cool. Just to have all that happen, like Judy was saying, God orchestrating these things. I would never want to really cut my hand and get stitches, but it was sure worth it to testify to this person and have a testimony. But I really got something cool I want to share that I ran into on YouTube. So this is from China. Emperor Guangwu. I don't know if any of you have seen this YouTube, but it's pretty cool. Emperor Guangwu, in his 7th year, which equals the year 31 AD, and it's written in the Han Dynasty, Volume 1, that in 31 AD, in the 4th month, the sun and moon eclipsed, and the sins were put on one man, and pardon was proclaimed to all under heaven. The eclipse was on the day of Gighai. The man from heaven died. So this is recorded in the Chinese, records of history from the Emperor Guangwu in Volume 1 of the Han Dynasty. And so I was like, okay, so that's when Jesus died, 31 AD. We got it nailed. But that's only one witness. I don't know if any of you have ran into this on the internet, but the Jerusalem Talmud and the Babylonian Talmud record that 40 years before the destruction of the temple, the western light went out. The crimson thread remained crimson, and the lot for the Lord always came up in the left hand. They could close the gates of the temple by night and get up in the morning and find them wide open. So, of course, the temple was destroyed in 70 AD and on the 9th of Av. And so 40 years before that, if you work it out, it's 31 AD. And of course it says again in the Babylonian Talmud, our rabbis taught, during the last 40 years before the destruction of the temple, the lot for the Lord did not come up in the right hand, nor did the crimson-colored strap become white, nor did the westernmost light shine. And the doors of the Hekel, the temple, would open by themselves. So, and that's recorded in both Talmuds. So we got three witnesses pointing to 31 AD. And what's really cool about that is I have this other piece of paper in here. And it says, when the 14th of Nisan happened in all the years around, from 28 AD up to 33 AD. And 31 AD is the year when the 14th of Nisan was on a Wednesday. So that kind of nails it. Anyway, so you can buy it or not, but I'm just giving you a witness testimony. So, interesting stuff.